Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Quick housekeeping. Check out the affiliate links in our description. Using them supports the show, and please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in. Today we will be covering the growing backlash around Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.6 and claims that the model has been nerfed. Google Workspace rolling out new Gemini-powered features including real-time translation and mobile encryption, the narrowing release window for GPT-6 codenamed SPUD and its rumored 2 million token context window, and the surging adoption of Google's open-source Gemma 4 models climbing the Arena leaderboard rankings. Let's get into it. Over the past few days, a firestorm has been building in the Anthropic user community. On April 13th, multiple Reddit threads blew up with complaints that Claude Opus 4.6 has been quietly degraded. One particularly viral post titled "Claude Opus 4.6 is nerfed" racked up over 2,700 upvotes in just 24 hours. Users are reporting a range of issues including math errors, date confusion, noticeably shorter output lengths, and what appear to be stricter usage caps that weren't previously in place. One user put it bluntly saying, quote, "There is absolutely no way this is the same model," end quote. Another referenced benchmarking site Bridgebench, allegedly confirming that reasoning levels in Opus 4.6 have been reduced. The specific regression examples being shared are pretty hard to ignore. Users are pointing to things like the model miscalculating 27 plus 11 as 45, which is the kind of basic arithmetic error you really would not expect from a frontier model. In separate threads, people who rely on Claude Code for consulting workloads are describing the tool as unusable due to persistent simple mistakes. What makes this especially frustrating for users is that many of them are paying $100 a month for premium tier access and feel like they are getting a worse product than what they signed up for. The complaints seem to have been building over the past month with a particularly sharp perceived change in early to mid-April. Now, Anthropic has not issued a formal public response to these specific allegations as of this recording. The broader question here is really about trust. When you are paying enterprise-level prices for a frontier model, you expect consistent performance. Whether this is infrastructure strain, cost control tuning on the back end, or something else entirely, the community clearly wants answers. It is worth noting this wave of frustration follows Anthropic's recent burst of product releases and the Mythos preview restrictions that came earlier in April. So there is already some tension in the user base about how the company is managing its product rollout. Moving over to Google, the company published a Workspace AI recap on April 13th, outlining a set of new Gemini-powered features that started rolling out the very next day. The headline additions are real-time speech translation in Google Meet and expanded end-to-end encryption for Gmail on mobile. On the translation front, Meet's mobile apps now support near real-time bidirectional translation between English and Spanish, French, German, Portuguese, and Italian. This is happening live during calls, which is a pretty significant capability for international teams and global organizations. On the security side, Gmail's end-to-end encryption is expanding to Android and iOS devices starting April 14th for organizations on scheduled release domains. This is a meaningful move for enterprise compliance, especially in regulated industries where encrypted communications are not optional. There is also a smaller but interesting update involving Google Slides and Google Vids. When Gemini is enabled, users can now import slides into Vids and actually edit the AI-generated scripts that come along with them. This shifts the dynamic from AI just offering suggestions to something closer to genuine co-authoring in the workflow. Taken together, these updates show Google pushing Gemini deeper into the tools people already use every day for work. It is not just a chatbot sitting in a sidebar anymore. It is becoming part of the infrastructure for how teams communicate, create content, and handle sensitive information. Now onto what might be the biggest story brewing this month. Reports surfaced on April 13th indicating that the release window for GPT-6 has narrowed significantly. According to reporting from Idlin, the model codenamed SPUD could launch as early as mid-April, with the window extending through the end of the month. The timeline is based on the fact that pre-training reportedly concluded on March 24th, and a minimum 3-week safety and red teaming cycle would place the earliest possible release right around April 14th. Sam Altman has reportedly referenced mid to late April timing internally, and prediction markets on Polymarket were pricing a 78% probability of release before April 30th. The rumored specs are eye-catching. We are talking about a 2 million token context window, which would be a massive leap forward. For context, that is enough to process extremely long documents, entire code bases, or extended research materials in a single pass. There are also claims of a roughly 40% improvement over GPT 5.4, along with a unified native multimodal architecture handling text, image, and possibly audio natively rather than through separate modules. GPT 5.4 itself only came out on March 5th. So if GPT-6 does land this month, OpenAI would be moving at a remarkable pace. A 2 million token context window alone would reset expectations for what is possible with research agents, long document reasoning, and autonomous workflows across the board. Finally, let's talk about what is happening in the open model space. Google DeepMind's Gemma 4 has been gaining serious traction since its official release on April 2nd. Coverage from April 14th highlights that the 31 billion parameter dense variant now ranks number 3 among open models on the Arena leaderboard. The 26 billion parameter mixture of experts version sits at number 6 and is notably outperforming models with far larger parameter counts. Gemma 4 comes in 4 sizes, spanning from 2 billion to 31 billion parameters, and crucially, it is released under the Apache 2.0 license, which allows completely unrestricted commercial usage. That is a big deal for enterprises that want to run powerful models on their own infrastructure without worrying about licensing restrictions or API dependency. Reports indicate the model is outperforming some competitors with 20 times the parameter count, which speaks to the efficiency of the architecture. Google is essentially running a dual strategy here, offering Gemini as its proprietary frontier product, while simultaneously strengthening the open-weight ecosystem with Gemma. For organizations exploring hybrid approaches where some workloads run on proprietary APIs and others run on self-hosted models, Gemma 4 with its permissive licensing and strong benchmark performance is becoming a very compelling option. Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.